Time to scoop more snow. If you guys like these cold starts, here's a 22-degree one, 4450. Ooh, that don't sound good. Like a champ. Not even 30 degrees. Hey there, YouTube. For the rest of today's video, I figured I'd just kind of go on the computer here, let you guys look at the screen, read the comments with me, address some things in the comments, talk about things maybe coming up, and just a whole lot of whatever, because the videos I was wanting to make are just not going to be able to be made right today, and they're talking a whole week of really cold weather, so I'm kind of getting high anxiety sitting here in the house. The clip you saw before this was me actually out today trying to get some snow moved. We got mud underneath the snow. I want to get out the field, need to burn some brush piles, need to pull some brush, need to just do all sorts of things. And the weather is just absolutely astronomically bad. Okay, you guys are going to watch a video here I did this fall. I was going to read some comments. Here's a comment on the last video I just did. They're absolutely going to do it for what they think is in their best interest. There's no way John Deere is going to allow Agricore Case to use the Green Star and lose sales. You know, all computers are a system of binary code, and if you can ever break that code or figure out how to do it, I'm sure there's a way that it could be done. But you're right, nobody, they're all going to want to remain proprietary. Car companies did the same crap with their computers, trying to get their systems where you could only take it to their dealers. So maybe in the future there'll be some sort of deal, but I think it's still got ways to go. Interesting enough, I had a local guy that watches this channel by the initials of CG. We'll just call him that. He'll know who it is if he's watching. He thought it was a good idea, but unfortunately I'm not a code writer, so I don't know. My computer skills are quite limited, so I won't be designing a system that cross-references over, and if you did, you'd probably get a lawsuit from every single corporation there is. Got a comment on the back when I was doing the brushes on the combine. Where y'all hail from, my friend? Well, the sky actually hails, but anyway, no, we're actually a guy named Matt Barr. I don't know if I've ever met you, but we are north of Clarinda, and it appears you're from Clarinda as well. So, thank you for watching. Let's see here. Look for a ram mount. That was the last video I did. Look for a ram mount to mount your farming, fixing, and fabricating. Oh, thank you. That's actually a good idea. I've don't know why that didn't immediately cross my mind before, but yeah, you're right. That is a great idea. I think I was so hung up on the Ricard building the cracked angle bracket that yeah, you're right. Matt Phillips commented, crazy idea. This is again the last video I did. Crazy idea here, but that truck you have there, what about pulling a grain box on it and using it around the farm to bring grain to the farm? I actually was measuring that today. I don't know. I was looking at doing like maybe a grain body on it, but then pulling a wagon behind it, because I don't think you could do or not easily anyway, you couldn't do a gravity box because of the way they measure it, kind of come out the tandems. But you're right, it would be pretty awesome. Maybe put a big grain box on there, like a old Omaha Standard or something. Put 600 bushels on the truck and get you a big 750 bushel Brent wagon put behind it. I'd have, 1,300 bushels. I could oh, there goes Dad tractor, but I could haul 1,300 bushels, and that would be perfect. That would be one grain cart full. That would actually work out quite well with the grain cart that we have now. But that would be a good idea, right there, that Demco box right there. Put that on there. Actually, it ain't gonna work because it's too tall, and the way it would dump wouldn't work. But anyway, that is an idea. You never know. You just never know what I'm gonna come up with. I'm gonna keep you guys in complete suspense and several things to do and come up and build and projects and all this. So I like to add a little suspense because maybe it'll make some more viewers here. Here's one. Good comment. Oliver880 commented, I like all your videos. I was wondering if John Deere is that much better than Case, and how many hours did the combine have when you bought it? Which I answered that in the section there of when I responded to you. And they all got their pros and cons. They really do. The Case combine, which you guys are watching the old video of, it's a good combine. It's a really good combine. The grain tank sample and everything is just wonderful. I've been back and forth with John Deere and Case IH combine kick, and if you guys have been following me, you kind of know my thoughts on combines. I am a John Deere guy, but yeah, I just I think there's so many pros and cons back and forth between the John Deere and the International Combine that it would be too hard to answer which one's the better one, because each one's going to have something better than the other one, but you know, there is no clear winner. That's, you know, that's kind of like the compact track loader video I did the other day. There's never one brand that just literally has everything. There's a few brands that don't have anything, which I would kind of chalk that up into the Cases maybe, but I don't think that there's one brand that has everything in particular. So, Riley Lang, oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, you know, you're right. The price of these used combines is just astronomical. When we started looking at used machines, I got a trade-in quote for $81.20, and I just wanted to see where I could buy one, what our trade-in quote was. And best I can tell, based off of what they were going to offer us versus what they're trying to sell you stuff for you, and then what you can wiggle. I mean, I talked to a lot of places before we bought this 240, and that's that damn trash can there. But I can tell it's between, at a bare minimum, if they're going to just quick sell, they're going to make $40,000 on a combine. And I think most places, I could tell, are up around $70,000 in the profit margin on a dealer. And, you know, things are down right now. I even made the comment to one John Deere dealer, why the hell can't you guys just sell quantity and not ridiculous? I mean, it's like, oh, sales are down, so I have to make 3 times more on one sale versus just trying to, yeah, it's just a ripoff. These dealers are all crooks. I've been getting pretty good feedback on what people view as my information and knowledge into the equipment lineup. Interesting enough, we had a guy named Ben DeJong. He was down in Florida. He purchased a Case 570 skip loader that we had, which I originally bought to backfill tile ditch with, and I was going to use it as a string tile with, but it didn't work out that way. He purchased the machine from us, but he contacted me today. Super nice guy, and I wish him luck with the loader, but he said that he's been watching my videos, so if you're watching, Ben, thank you, and great to hear from you. And text me if that AC system has any more condensation issues. I'll see if I can figure it out. But I can't thank you guys enough for all the good commentary on everything. Clearing the fence line here. I don't recall when I got her in summer. Yeah, well, I don't. God, this winter's starting to suck ass. Anyone that shits on Volvo just doesn't know what they're talking about. I spent the best part of 10 years in CD1. Yeah, you know, they're all going to have little stuff, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Volvos are pretty badass machine. No doubt. Sure do love all your farming videos, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Well, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you as well. That was a, on that skid loader video, here's one. Moving on down the list here, because I'm reading these in the order they came in. Yeah, that skid loader video. No, I went up and I actually demoed. Well, and when I did that video, I've spent a lot of hours in the seats behind these things, and the JCB, which is Volvo sells the same one. It's JCB. different paint job. But the single boom machines, you kind of have a weird side cab entrance, and I didn't like it. I just didn't like the machine. So, I mean, there's probably nothing wrong with it. I think it was just fine. But if you get on Machinery Trader, there's not that many listings for them. So if you thought that they're just like an ASV, they're like, oh, there's nothing better than ASV. Well, if there's nothing better, usually sales and mass droves of people talk for themselves. So if you only got a very few machines out there, you know, what few comments I got saying it's great, but I mean, overall, I just don't think they got the #1 sales. And sometimes resale is a bit of a factor, you know. Got a lot of good comments here on the 160 in-cab video. Yeah, thank you guys. It's cool. I like that. I'm gonna do some more on that, and I think I think you'll be seeing more of those kind of videos coming up. Maybe get some camera mounts here bought, which I've been saying that for weeks. I never seem to get around to it, but I need to get on Amazon and find some. There was a video I did on an 850J back when Jim was here. He actually took some video of me pushing out some trees. And that video was like, had like 2 million views, something crazy. Here's one. Rayan Ricky. How many years a tree like that become bigger and you destroy it? I don't believe it. Well, fuck off, idiot. You know, that's a hedge tree. They're absolutely worthless. Anybody that farms doesn't, you know, hedge trees are just useless brush, and they serve no value at all besides maybe a line post or a corner post and a fence. And it needed to be cleared because it needed to have some access to a field. And if you could have saw the field, you would have understood why. So it's amazing how you get a video like that and get the world's most hateful commentary on it. Anyway, there's the skid loader video. There's a company that sells steel tracks to replace the rubber ones, uses original drive sprockets and idlers. Yes, there is, and I've looked at those personally at buying them. The problem with them is it does use the original sprockets and idlers. The steel rail system by Cat actually is like a scaled down dozer where it actually uses bigger idlers and things, you know, or rollers, I should say. You know, Cat had a notorious problem with their machines. The rear idler was a single and the front idler was a double on the rubber tracks. And a lot of times they'll have track belt flip issues, and they actually have a little bit of like I call it pip kits. That's what John Deere calls them. But they actually have an uptime, or whatever you want to call it, kit, where they put a triple flange roller on the rear, keeps the thing from rolling off as easy. That's a problem with the Caterpillar. The steel track would alleviate all that, and it's going to take the twist and the harmful applicational environments, being like demo material, broken up concrete. That steel track system is going to be hard to beat. Anything rubber, including tires, just usually doesn't work out in those kind of environments. On that CTL video I did, hey, thanks for the video. You're welcome. Do you know how it has the fastest travel speed for track loaders? Yeah, bar none. The Bobcat. They move. I think it's like 12 mile an hour. Everybody else is around 10. I think John Deere is around, I don't know what John Deere is now, 9.5, 10. But that Bobcat, it would just fly. CTL video. I imagine when you're spending that much for a machine, you can never get enough information. Thanks. You're welcome. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I hopefully can share what I've learned over the years. Like I said, I've put a lot of hours on those skid loaders, so what models I do know about, I know about pretty well. I've worked on them. And the 333s, they have some issues that they were still working out. Actually, mine's already had a couple pips done to it, and they've replaced the entire hydraulic pump in already. But still, that's not discouraging me because I know the performance of the machine, and it's under warranty. So, I mean, John Deere's covering it for free, so there's nothing to complain about. Here's what I did, and I talked about the school teachers, and I told everybody in the video I was going to get blowback. It says, where you're off when you come to teachers, they don't just work from 8 till 3. They spend those nights and weekends prepping and grading, and we think paperwork and bookwork stinks. Imagine being a teacher's shoes, knowing what she's like to discipline the schools today. They don't get paid enough. That's a load of bullshit. That's your perspective on they don't get paid enough. Your perspective would be based on what the hell you feel that you need to spend. So if I feel that $35,000 is inadequate living, then you feel that it's $150,000 is adequate living. Well, I'd say you take a poll, I'd imagine that yours is probably a little bit, unreasonable. I know a shop teacher in New York or Chicago. He made $75,000 a year. Personally, my perspective is that $75,000 a year for what he did physically and what he had to do for paperwork was a substantial, if not unreasonable, amount of money for what he had to do for a living. Imagine trying being a teacher's shoes, and this was like disciplining kids at school today. The only part of that I agree with is that statement right there. Because, they can't do anything to these kids anymore. The kids are just little jerks. And for the most part, these little jerk kids are the reason they're jerk, because the parents sometimes undermine. A lot of times they say, hey, you can't talk to my kid like that. Well, back in the old days, it was the teacher had the old wiffle bat, and if you didn't get in trouble with the teacher, you were going to sure as hell get in trouble when you got home that night from your parents. So you'd rather get in a little trouble from your teacher because you knew your parents are probably going to whip your ass. But anymore, it seems like a lot of parents don't really seem to care or discipline their kids. And they probably can't for that fact, because DHS will get involved in your life if you even say anything wrong to a child anymore. So, I've talked about this before in videos, but when they've taken even time out away because that's too much and they went to safe space, oh dear God. I mean, what the hell ever happened to what I grew up with? Uh-oh, pissed Dad off. Why is the belt coming out of the pants? So, I don't know. Again, perspective. And what I see now versus what used to be is just wrong. But as far as a teacher working hard and past 8 to 3, hell, most of them don't even work to 8 to 3. Hell, our particular high school, some of them didn't even have classes throughout the day. And they work 180-day school years. All they got to work. Yeah, they get a few in-services and things, but whoop you do, 180 days a year. Today, they called off schools at the 4 inches of snow on the ground. My neighbors, which I don't have cattle, my neighbors are out there handing their cows first thing this morning, and I know people with pigs getting them attended to. So did they get to call in for a snow day too? Because, again, back to that perspective of somebody making $60,000 or $50,000 a year for a school teacher, and maybe that farmer's making $20,000 a year. So, especially right now, or maybe he was making $35,000 a year because he's not making anything because his commodities are worth nothing. And he's working 3 times harder in worse weather. So I guess it all comes down to perspective, how you're going to view it versus what I view it. When I view it as most teachers are lazy. Hell, if you got auto grade on your iPads, why do they even have the schools anymore? I was actually talking to a guy down in Kansas, about 90 miles south of here. And everything I talked to him about was like talking to myself. And I could not believe that somebody 90 miles away I'd never met before had the same viewpoint and the same answers and things as I do. And what gets me about that is its environment. When you are controlled by markets, when you are subjected to things, the response or retaliation or your perspective based on what's out there, changes to what it needs to be. So we're getting hammered by markets right now, so we're glum. Oh, damn Trump payments ain't gonna make up nothing. But like I say, it's like talking to myself. So obviously that just kind of means all farmers across the board are in the same boat, feeling the same thing right now. And which isn't very good. And the last thing I was going to talk about in this video is I was going to ask a question, because maybe somebody can answer this, because I've been asking a lot of people, nobody seems to be able to answer it. I did a video on the wall, I talked about the Trumps and the illegal aliens and everything, the Mexicans that are here, which again, I don't want them here, but anyway, one question I don't have answered is what the hell does the IRS do with the money? And if you're from Iowa, you've heard of the Molly Tibbetts, the guy that killed Molly Tibbetts. When somebody dies, your Social Security number becomes public record, or at least what I've been told, becomes public record. Also, when you die, like in case my grandpa passed away, we had to send in a death certificate because he was getting Social Security, so they ended his Social Security payments. Now, this guy that killed Molly Tibbetts, they said that the employer was filing everything correctly. That means when you pay into Medicaid or Medicare and Social Security as an employer, you have to double it. So you send it in, which means that they were sending in payments to a Social Security number of what ended up being a dead person. And so this guy gets caught, and they find a background check and everything. They find out the employer's correct. They find out the illegal had used the dead person's Social Security number, blah, blah, which would be identity fraud. But this stuff happens left and right over and over and over again. Now, if my grandpa's Social Security check were to show back up, I would find it kind of unusual. So, here's my question. If this employer of this guy was paying it correctly, however, it was going to that Social Security number of that guy, but the guy wasn't the guy. So now that they've proven the guy to be illegal, what is the IRS going to do with that money that employer paid in? My guess, they'll probably pocket it. So if that's a one-time incident, I'm sure this goes on over and over and over. But if my grandpa's Social Security number were to get brought back up used by an illegal alien, or tried to be used by an illegal alien, and an employer, say a packing plant, and I'm just using an example, but say a packing plant employer hires this guy with my grandpa's Social Security number, and they start to pay in things legally because they think the guy's legal. And wouldn't there be a giant roadblock where it says, whoa, big red flag, database, breach failure? We've already received a death certificate. Then send the employer a letter or send an arrest out for the person working there. But with probably 50 million of these bastards floating around the United States here, how come you never, ever, ever see any of that stuff ever being taken care of? I brought up the idea of a nationwide database. So when we sent in our death certificate for my grandpa's death, shouldn't that have been an update to an already existing database? So technically, shouldn't all the systems be in place to be stopping these problems? I don't know. You guys tell me if you know any more, because nobody seems to really be able to answer that. I almost feel like calling a congressman's office and finding out where the hell this money is really going, because if it's going to a dead person's Social Security number, who the hell's keeping it? And if it's hitting red flag firewalls saying, hey, this person died, that's a dead person's Social Security number, then what the hell? Also, lastly, these sanctuary cities, which are BS, if the governor of the state is harboring fugitives or illegals for illegal activity because they've committed a crime, they've come here illegally, how is he not harboring a fugitive, or how are they not harboring fugitives and being arrested for it? If you're a governor, are you above the law? I mean, I don't know. You guys shine some more light on that for me. And thanks for watching, and more coming soon. Gotta wish this weather to straighten up. I'm gonna try to battle it and brave on, but anyway, more videos coming. What do you think, Frenchie?